And take the phone off the hook. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Hold everything. Stop the counting. Man, I look good. I'm Preacher Moss. Don't look at me like I'm the only Muslim that uses a salam to get people to shut up. I'm announcing the first annual Preacher Moss All Muslim, All DMV New Year's Eve comedy extravaganza kicking off at Center DC. We're bringing in 2026 with class, laughs, food, and a good mood. It's a first of its kind for Muslims and Muslim families as we have two shows, 7:30 and 9:30, with a countdown following the 9:30 show. We've got the funniest Muslims, no, the funniest comedians in the game coming to Washington, D.C. to help you bring in your 2026. Start the countdown. Stop, it's too early for the New Year's countdown. That countdown is for people to get their tickets. Tickets are limited and we anticipate a sellout. Proceed. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Preacher Moss, Muslim comedian, OG, and host of the ShOUT Show. You in the right place at the right time. I want to thank everybody that's just been responding to our commercials, our ads. We are talking about ResCon in Houston, Texas at the end of January. We're talking about the Black Muslim Singles event that's going on in Washington, D.C., December the 27th. Sweet Tooth Cafe and Restaurant. You want to make sure you're going to be there. And we're going to have a big New Year's bash at Center DC. You do not want to miss it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have had quite a rough week in terms of current events. Yet another group of people have been banned. So we have a Muslim ban that's been expanded to Syrians and Palestinians. For those that want to come here, for those who want to stay, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I've never really figured out, what gives people the right to do a ban. I thought about this like greatly, and what I thought about is just the fact that people don't say no. You have a situation that's like squatters, like people who squat in people's houses. They look at a vacant house, right? They realize that nobody's staying there, and then they go in and in their mind they construct the idea that I have a right to say it, that this has been a peaceful takeover of this place, and then they act like they're residents. I think the reverse of it is the fact that we just don't know how to say no to some of the craziest things that are out there. By virtue of the fact that some of the craziest things out there do have, in a weird way, they do have the power of the law. That's number one. Just number two, people are afraid of just not fitting in, not being on the right side of history, not being on the right side of arguments. And as a result, we just have a very, very frenetic type of lifestyle. Our topic today is, do you have Trump derangement syndrome? Let me say it again. Do you have Trump derangement syndrome? Now, some of you who've been watching this show for a while will remember when I brought this up a while ago. There was a politician, I'll have to go look him up. There was a politician who was petitioning the American Medical Association to get Trump derangement syndrome listed as an actual ailment, sort of like depression or anxiety or something like that, that it was going to be a mainstream thing. And it becomes even more ridiculous. And I want to express condolences to Rob Reiner and his wife and the Reiner family. I do not know them. I thought that Rob Reiner was a heck of a actor and a heck of a director. He had his stand for a lot of things. I can't say we stood for all the same things, but the man was passionate about human equality. I will never ever say he was not. In the wake of this man's murder, at this point, it's alleged that his son murdered him and his daughter. This man was being worn throughout the Hollywood establishment as a good man. And, it's not beyond our president to say some weird stuff, right? It's not beyond our president to say. But he said that this young man killed his father because he was suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. TDS. That's not, they got rid of PBS, so he had a case of TDS. So we're going to talk about this and some other things on the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You're here with us on the Shout Out Show. You're locked in. Don't move. Let's get going. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Moss, Muslim comedian OG. Check this out. I'm in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, Chocolate City, letting you know that at the end of January, we got Resilience Con. This is a vision of Dr. Imam Wazir Ali, but this is a community project, a community trust, and I will be there with a special comedy show featuring some of my favorite comedians going to be coming out supporting the cause. Now, this is what I need you to do. I need you to get your tickets for Resilience Con, but I also need you to donate. So if you give $25, maybe give another $25. We're trying to build here, brothers and sisters. That's something we haven't done in a long time. In our community, we're trying to build. So I'm asking you to please get your tickets. And if we get enough tickets, we're going to have a comedy show. This is going to be a landmark comedy show, not like some of the other ones you see. I'm taking off the bow tie. I'm taking off the suit. I'm putting on my Timberlands. I'm putting on my Levi jeans. I'm putting on my paperboy hat. And we're going to get down. We're going to talk about it like we've been wanting to talk about it for a long time. I'm going to be saying some things that you guys been wanting to hear. Listen, get your tickets. I will see you there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just stop looking at me. Get your doggone tickets. All right. Sister Sultana and I have been busy trying to make the Resilience Con a beautiful, beautiful event happening at the end of January 2026. I hope everybody can attend. That's going to be January 30th, 31st, and February 1st. Is that right, Satana? I think I got it right, inshallah. So listen, let's get to our comment section. Let's give some shout out and some love to some people. I want to give a shout out to Sister Reed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sister. Hope that you're doing well. Always a pleasure to see you on the show. Peace and blessings to you and your family. Okay, and we also got my main man, Altaf Rashid. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brother. Thank you so much for tuning in all the way from Toronto, Ontario. We call him our Mr. 6 o'clock, our Canadian envoy to the show. Straight up, straight down. We really appreciate you, man. Coming to us, duty free. My main man, Bilal Salahuddin, he says, we in here. He says we, that means he and his beautiful queen, Sister Sonia Dalton, Salahuddin. Big brother, thanks so much for tuning in. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Always a pleasure to see you on the show. And my little brother, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My main man, JT, my brother from another mother. Man, thank you so much for tuning in. Always a pleasure to see your face in the place. I know we're going to get Brother Eric Carter. He'll come through here too, so we're going to give him a shout out right now. I am being presumptive. And what's the show without executive producer? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. One of the hardest people working in event management, promotion, social media. We give a shout out to the sister, the very, very weary Sister Satana Whitfield. We should call you Sister Weary Whitfield. That's what I'm going to call you, Weary Whitfield, because she is doing it all. She's functioning, brothers and sisters, on exactly 13 minutes of sleep a day, and she's just making it happen. We're just happy to have her in the house. Got some people in Instagram land. Let me make sure I shout out. Deliciously sweet. Good to see you. We got Permissible Laughter. We have Mir Iqbal. How you doing, bro? Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. 54 Vision, welcome. Cousin Mimi, how you doing? Man, what's that say? Manalet, thank you so much for joining. Pardon me, because sometimes we gotta introduce people's names live. It can be a challenge, as I have demonstrated. And let me see. Wa alaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Who we got here? Who we got here? Let me see. At Fight the Power. I know who that is. What's going on, beloved? Wa alaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, we have a problem. There's a problem when white people start naming mental health issues after themselves. Okay, and I say this is in total absence of mental health professionals, psychologists, psychotherapists, psychiatrists. These white people are making up mental health diseases. Now, they still refuse to acknowledge that white supremacy is a mental health issue, a very serious mental health issue that has gone unchecked and has resulted in Nazism, has resulted in white nationalism, has resulted in the KKK. It has gone unchecked, but now we have trunk derangement syndrome. Let me tell y'all what this is. Okay, let me give y'all some game. Trump derangement syndrome is what they're going to call all of you who somehow disagree with the president, who somehow have an independent thought that this man could potentially not have Trump derangement syndrome. He's just deranged. We don't need a syndrome. You just out of your cotton picking mind. If that's the case, then we should be able to name all these crazy people. We should be able to give them. I want to say we should be able to give them mentally ill names. What do you think, Stan? JD Vance should be JD Melancholy. The Secretary of Education, she should just be called Miss ADHD. Well, ADHD is a mental health issue. But all these white people coming up with this stuff, I don't even call them schizophrenic. I call them schizophrenic. So we have a plethora of people who are schizophrenic. And here's the deal. The nuttiest of them the nuttiest of all of them, I'm talking about the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs of all of them, is the one naming, here we go, naming mental health diseases, making them up. I have to say something, and this is just being real. I was 100% disgusted with this guy as my president. I mean, as a human being, I was disgusted that this guy took a double homicide to introduce this term. Hear me now. A double homicide to introduce this term. Right? We've had so much murder and clutter in the last couple of days. We've had shooting in Boston, we have people killed in Boston, we have people killed in Sydney. You have this happen out in Brentwood. And this idiot comes out and says that in this case, here we go, in this case, there might be a suspected mental health issue, and he's going to name that issue after himself. Well, if he's going to name all these things after himself, then we should be able to name things after him. So if you have hemorrhoids, you don't have hemorrhoids anymore. You got a case of the Trumps. All right? Preparation Trump. That's right. I want you to go to Walgreens to get it and put it on and go, ooh, this feels good on my Trump. That's all I'm saying, people. Yeah. What's another one? If you're an alcoholic, you are not an alcoholic anymore. You are allergic to sobriety. There you go. So you have Trump sobriety issues. So, and here's the thing, and I'm being facetious, sort of. The fact of the matter is, while I'm joking, there's somebody somewhere in one of these little cubby holes that we call the United States that lack vision and lack light and lack validity and lack truth and honesty. There is someone who's coming up with something to make this stick. See, you have to read your news. Trump did not come up with Trump derangement syndrome. Another politician has been politicking to make this a part of the vernacular. Does it sound familiar? Well, let me throw this out here for all you old school. Sound like it off to Abacatu, Eric. We already blew you up, man. You gave you some love early, brother. Shout out to South Kakalaki, man. Good to see you. Let me throw this out here though. And here's the dangerous part. The dangerous part is while I'm joking about Trump derangement syndrome, and none of us have it, if you give it a year in a political cycle and in a news cycle, people will start applying it to you, whether it's a real thing or not. The same way they introduce, and this is, I say this to Muslims with the deepest respect and deepest love. The people who perpetuated the word Islamophobia is not the Islamophobes. It is us taking ownership of a word that exploits our sympathies, it exploits our anxieties, it exploits our image, it exploits our personhood, and we hold on to it. This is a case where they're going to come up with Trump derangement and give it to people. Give it to people. This is the most dangerous syndrome since COVID, brothers and sisters, because it's going to affect political foresight and political honesty. Political foresight and political honesty. You know, when I was a kid, something happened in school. I had a desk next to this little white kid. Little white kid never had any supplies, right? He never had any supplies. Like I don't know what happened. If his mom and dad were broke as the 10 Commandments, I don't know. All I know was every day he come to school, he needed a pencil. So we used to call him Pencil Whitey. Okay, so Satana's like that. We called him Pencil Whitey. And so every day Pencil Whitey would come to school and he would need a pencil. It's like, man, they would give him Pencil Whitey a pencil on the playground and he would lose it by the time he got in a homeroom. Here's the deal, though. One time, Pencil Whitey got mad. He wanted a pencil. He wanted a pencil from my friend Bunky. And Bunky was like, I only got one pencil. I got to get through the day with this pencil. So what happened was, Pencil Whitey, who never had any pencils, went to the teacher and told the teacher that Bunky stole his pencil. All right, dig the names. This is back in the 70s. So he had people named Bunky, okay? I'm saying, but I can't remember his real name. Satana, damn it, it's Bunky. I mean, give me credit for remembering Bunky. I'm getting old up here. But he went to the teacher and told the teacher that Bunky had stolen it. And here's where it got slick. The teacher only knew Bunky by his real name. Pencil Whitey went and told Bunky, and the teacher goes, do we have another student here? She goes, no, Bunky is right there. Told her that Bunky stole his pencil. And here's the killer part. Bunky had his name written on the pencil. Y'all remember when you were little, you used to put markers on your pencil to make sure it was your pencil? Or you put tape on it or whatever? Bunky had all of that. And the teacher said, I believe that's his pencil. I'm like, lady, Bunky had everything outside of a tattoo on that pencil. But he was like, I think. And the worst part about it was, Bunky lost the argument. We had to give Bunky a pencil, but we lost total respect for Pencil Whitey because Pencil Whitey was like, you have created a situation where now everybody thinks that Bunky is a thief. Now, not the people that know Bunky, but you're never going to correct the truth. And that's what it comes down to. Trump deranged syndrome is really about never addressing the truth. It's really about not looking at the reality around you. It's really about, you know what? You have accountability. I don't have accountability. And when it comes to me having accountability, somehow I am ordained by God that I can change the rules whenever I want to. Now, clinically, 47 is a narcissist. Always has been, always will be. And what the narcissist does is empower people around him or her to feed the engine. See, a narcissist will tell you to do something knowing that it's wrong. They would do something knowing that it's wrong, but they would challenge you to see if you have the integrity and intestinal fortitude to say, that is wrong. Let me address it. I want accountability. And what happens is, as accountability, I want to say the accountability roles get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it doesn't happen, you create a new environment. And I'm going to say something on this show. I'm just going to be honest. Someone asked me one time after a lecture, what do you really feel about white people in America? The majority, Preacher Moss. And I said with a straight face, y'all out your damn mind. He said, how am I out of my mind? I said that you can sit here and watch racism like it's okay, like it's a movie, like it's a commercial break. You can watch people hungry, you can watch people get attacked overseas, and somehow, some way, in your mind, you can resolve that. That's a sick mind, right? But it's worse because the infrastructure of the United States has allowed this foolishness and sadness because they have one thing that we have not managed to manage. We have not managed to manage, and that is the fact that they create laws. And the rule of law is that you can create another rule of law. People like Nat Turner and John Brown and Denmark Vesey, when they revolted, it wasn't against white people. It was against white entitlement. It was against, how can I say this? Evil. That when you see evil, it should draw some type of immediate response, of physical regurgitation. And what happens is we sit here in the United States, our little homes, our little apartments, our little offices, and we forget what that regurgitation felt like. I can tell you from third grade, when Bunky was accused as a thief, I had a physical regurgitation because I knew if they could do it to Bunky, if Pencil Whitey could do it to Bunky, they could do it to me. They could do it to my brother Rick. They could do it to Anthony Clark. They could do it to Charles Carroll. All the black kids. And I remember sitting around with third graders having a conference, something akin to a United Nations or a NAACP meeting going, did you see what Pencil Whitey did? And in that space, we began to understand the creative nature of people who are not creative. Let me say it again. You begin to understand the creative nature of people who are not creative. That people, even if you give them something, they can't make something out of it. That people, if they take something from you, they can't make anything out of it unless they bring you to tell them how to do it. The theft of the blues, the theft of R&B, these weren't thefts, these were kidnappings. They took the music and they took the people. And they said, tell me how this works. Tell me how this machine works. All the players in Hollywood, we call them the 10%ers and the 15%ers, who have no talent, have figured out a whole ecosystem to make sure that if you do have talent, you have to come to them and you got to pay the toll. Trump derangement syndrome, brothers and sisters, is yet another way to make sure we pay a toll. Derangement normally means that it is the first person that is deranged. This is the first time when people say derangement and it's in the third person because the first part of the term, Trump deranged, we cannot be addressing it to him unless we are incorrect. Unless we are not accurate about who we're talking about. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to run an ad. We'll be right back. We got a big New Year's show coming up in Washington, D.C. Hope you guys are there. We will see you. We'll be right back. Go ahead, Sultana. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Hold everything. Stop the counting. Man, I look good. I'm Preacher Moss. Don't look at me like I'm the only Muslim that uses a salam to get people to shut up. I'm announcing the first annual Preacher Moss All Muslim, All DMV New Year's Eve comedy extravaganza kicking off at Center DC. We're bringing in 2026 with class, laughs, food, and a good mood. It's a first of its kind for Muslims and Muslim families as we have two shows, 7:30 and 9:30, with a countdown following the 9:30 show. We've got the funniest Muslims, no, the funniest comedians in the game coming to Washington, D.C. to help you bring in your 2026. Start the countdown. Stop, it's too early for the New Year's countdown. That countdown is for people to get their tickets. Tickets are limited and we anticipate a sellout. Proceed. All right, thank you again, Sultana. So we have a couple of things going on. We got a Black Muslim singles event that's going to be happening as well, December the 27th. Shout out to Chef Steve. Chef Steve is cooking up something. See, when Black people do their thing, hey, you ain't getting no finger food, no hot dogs. We ain't getting no finger food. You getting some food. Somebody asked about ticket price. Look, the ticket price is what it is. We're probably going to drop it like $10, but I want to tell you, you're getting two comedians myself. Moses the comic is our guest comedian. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. And then on top of that, we have networking opportunities. I hope that by next week we're going to have some forum for some of our Black Muslim single men to start talking about why y'all don't come out to these events. Why don't y'all come out to these events? They're about you. Listen, are you Black and Muslim men? Like, who are you gonna marry? What you waiting on? What are you waiting on? You got all these sisters out here. You know what the sisters say? What they waiting on? Okay, so here's the deal. I joke a lot, but I'm out of my position. I'm taking myself out of my comfort zone. Brothers, we need to talk because this is affecting our ummah, our community. We're not producing leaders, we're not producing families, not producing community the way we used to in the past. And we really need to just get in house and address it. Okay, enough said with that. Now, let me get to the rub right here because I don't want to leave any strings just dangling out there. Shout out to Bunky. I don't know what Bunky. I know. Hopefully you're out. Bunky had a little time. Bunky had to do a little time, but not out of the third grade. He made some decisions. That's the way it goes. Shout out to Pencil Whitey. I don't know where you are either, but hope you, wherever you are, Pencil Whitey, I hope that Allah is blessing you with a pencil. Okay. So let me get to this thing because I joke sometimes, but I don't want to leave things setting out there. Listen, Trump derangement syndrome is not a real syndrome. That's number one. This is a political opinion. It's the same as being woke. It's the same as being far right. It's the same as being super liberal. It's the same thing as being radicalized. All these terms come from people who are scared and have no creative nature. And when they have no creative nature, they have no compassion. When they have no compassion, brothers and sisters, you have what you have in the White House right now. See, when you make excuses for people to act a certain way, hear me out, it's because they don't have a backbone. I just talked about Black Muslim singles. You know what I didn't say? That they didn't have a backbone, that they didn't have courage, that they didn't have integrity. See, the Trump derangement syndrome is not an indictment of the person that's trying to put that label on. It's an indictment of the person who's trying to put the label on you. The person who's trying to say that. So every time Trump says someone has Trump derangement syndrome, means that he, in his right mind and all his accolades, can't get you to bow down and kiss the ring. It means that they know that you're trouble. They know that you are a free thinker. My good friend Sakai Sanders always said, great minds don't think alike, they think differently. Yes. And for that, if you want to say that, then I guess I have Trump derangement syndrome because I look at Trump and I say, I don't see a man, don't see a president. I see a man baby. I see a man who's been emotionally and spiritually stunted in his growth, retarded in his growth, and he got around a bunch of people who thought he wasn't, and he shows them every day that he is. So we're getting ready to get out of here. You guys have been great. Thank you so much. Continue to support us. Satan, do I have time to bring up more? I got one more time to bring up and add Black Muslim singles. You guys, we need you. You're going to come on through. I'm going to take care of you. God bless. All right. Well, actually, there we go. Mm-hmm. All right, Satana. Chill out. The man ain't coming and this ain't Friday. This is an intervention and call to action for Black Muslim singles. In the name of Black Muslim love, I'm claiming December 27th, the first annual East Coast Black Muslim Singles Networking and Comedy Gala. All roads lead to Washington, D.C., formerly known as the Chocolate City, the gentrification from Shaitan. Anyways, we have what you need for the holiday season. Ho ho no, I'm calling out the elite of the elite Black Muslim singles to join us in Washington, D.C. for the first annual East Coast Black Muslim Singles Networking and Comedy Gala held December 27, 2025. Sweet Tooth Restaurant and Cafe, comedy by Preaching Friends, food by Chef Steve, and the star is you. Get your tickets. Early bird tickets are $75, after December the 9th, $85. Sweet Tooth Restaurant and Cafe, 2323 Martin Luther King Avenue, Washington, D.C. in Southeast, December the 27th, 7th through the 10th. You don't want to miss it.